it's Dr. Know-It-All and
me.
So much for misinformation. I thought she was going to actually say who she was. Anyway, welcome. It's been a while since we've done a video like this. Weirdly enough, we haven't really traveled anywhere recently. And it seems like we always do these dual videos when we're traveling. And we had requests from the viewers that said that they all missed misinformation. So she's back. So anyway, we wanted to chat a little bit about experiences with our Tesla. We've now had it, gosh, I think 6 months, 7 months, 6 months. Yeah, we've had it 6 months actually today. It's the 13th of June, so we've had it 6 months today. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but we're going to actually start with you talking about driving the Mazda. So we have a Mazda CX-5, which is a gas-powered car, of course, and it's about the same size as the Model Y, and if you haven't seen that video, you can watch it up here if you're interested. But anyway, it's a very, very similar size to this car. But I think that well, I don't know. I'll let you talk about it because you drive that car more, so.
Yeah, and I guess the reason this all came up is because, and I've said it in other videos before, that it's hard being in the Tesla and then getting in the Mazda, and, you know, the pickup is not the same. So, but also, because of the pandemic and I've still been working remotely, I just don't drive the car very much, and if we go somewhere, we obviously take the Tesla. So in the Mazda, the last few times I've gotten in it, it just like, it has no get up, and it's really crazy because when we bought the car, we bought it because it had so much get up to it. It had a sport mode and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and so it's so bad that even the other day, me and my son, our 13-year-old son, got in it, and he was like, what's wrong with the car? Like, why won't it change gears? Why is it not going fast enough? I was like, I don't know. And I legit came home and told John I thought something was wrong, and it was nothing more than that's all the pickup it has, and I've gotten used to the Tesla, and so I'm spoiled to it now, and
yeah, it's actually, to some extent, it's actually a little bit weirdly dangerous because I will, in my mind, say, oh, I can get around that guy and, you know, get in front of him in the other lane and pass, and you step on it in the Mazda, and it's like, oh, never mind. we're not going to get in front of this guy. We have no pickup in this car. So, yeah, that car, up until when we bought this Tesla, I think we felt like the car had pretty good get up and go, but now, anything compared to this car, wow.
Yeah, I mean, and we were driving it compared to the Mini, which had a lot of, you know, which was stick shift and had a lot of get up and go, but it still wasn't, you know, that far off. But now it just, it doesn't even compare.
And it's also really loud. Like, I find the Mazda, like, when you step on it, it's like, you know, this car is so quiet. It's just like stealth mode. It doesn't matter. Well, I don't know if anybody's watched Jay Leno's Garage. I'll try to put the video up over this if I have a chance to. But Jay Leno took off and did the quarter mile in 9.247 seconds or 243, or anyway. It was an amazing record, but he did it. It's dead quiet when he does the run.
In the Tesla? He did it in the Tesla.
Yeah, and the new Model S Plaid, which, you know, oh well.
All right, Jay, this is Franz. You're ready to go. Launch. Here he goes. Wow. 9247. Wow.
We will have to dream. Hopefully one of our viewers one of these days who lives close by will give us a test ride in it, because that'll be a lot of fun. But it actually might not be good, because then we might go like, oh, that's what accelerating in under 2 seconds is like. This car's going to feel like old hat when we get to that. So anyway, I guess, what would you call this? First world problems for real?
Absolutely.
It's crazy. I know. We don't have any right to complain about it. But it's bringing up point number 2 that we wanted to talk about today, which is that we have been very, very seriously... It's not on full self-driving. You gotta keep track of which mode it's in. The car also drives itself, which is really cool until you take it out of full self-driving and forget that you took it out of full self-driving, and then all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh. Anyway, we're so disappointed in the Mazda now that even though we've still got a couple of years left in a zero-interest loan, which is like the best thing in the world, right? Because basically it's free money. We bought the car, they gave us a loan at 0% interest, so every time the dollar becomes worthless, it's actually better for us to own that car. But we're strongly considering getting a Model 3 instead and selling the CX-5. It's just become that obvious that gas-powered cars are just pretty pathetic compared to electric cars. So anyway, I've looked into the leasing option, and it's a little bit cheaper, but at the same time, you know, it actually brings up point number 3 that I wanted to talk about, which is that I believe right now we have about 10,000 miles on this Model Y, and we've had it for 6 months. And I believe that we could actually make more money on this car by selling it than the retail price of the car was when we bought it. Now it has gone up. I know. Well, we can't do that.
I don't want to play that game.
Well, for one thing, of course, you end up with that whole like 6% state tax and the $1,250 destination and title fees and all that stuff. So you know that stuff adds up and makes it worth less money. But the other big thing is we don't have an extra car, right? We need 2 cars because both of us have to commute to work and all of that kind of stuff. So we don't really have the option of selling the car, but it is a fascinating thing. You know, since time immemorial, you buy a car and it's just a money pit. You just keep throwing money at it, and then it becomes worth less and less money. And eventually you sell it for a little tiny bit of money, a fraction of what you bought it for. And you just consider it a big expense that there's nothing you can do about. But it's really fascinating to think about. And of course, I do believe this is a sliver of time. Eventually there will be enough Teslas and hopefully some competition from other people, although who knows if they'll ever get there. But eventually what will happen is there will be a surplus supply of Teslas. But it could easily be another 4 years, 5 years before they get to that point. And in the meantime, it seems like purchasing a Tesla. So anyway, I looked at leasing it, but the purchase price or the purchase monthly payments versus the lease is not different enough to make it worthwhile, because on the far end, basically we want that car until we can get the Cybertruck. So it's going to be about 3 years at a guess.
Do we?
Heck yeah, we want the Cybertruck. Are you kidding me? That thing's like, it costs the same as a Model 3, and it's a truck.
So which one if we got a 3, which one would we sell to get the truck?
We could sell the 3, because it's the same price. So it's like, it's $40,000 for the Cybertruck.
Wait, the 3's the same price as the truck?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it, right?
Why is the truck so...
Because... I don't know. I have a feeling. I don't know. So that actually brings up a really good point, because I have actually looked into upgrading our order of the Cybertruck to a dual motor, which is $50,000 as opposed to $40,000. But the thing because I'm worried about the fact that the single motor version just may never get built, because it's just so cheap. It's sort of like that mythical $35,000 Model 3 that supposedly was there, and it like appeared for like a week and then disappeared again. So I have a feeling if we're on the single motor list, we could be waiting for 5 years and never get one. So I've been thinking strongly about getting a dual motor, but the problem with that is that if we get the dual motor, I currently have our full self-driving at $7,000, and I went in to change the reservation, and they bumped the full self-driving to $10,000, and I was like, oh, come on. So anyway, Elon Musk or Tesla or somebody, if you're listening out there, you should allow us to change the motor configuration of the vehicle without having to up the price of the full self-driving, because that really sucks. So anyway, I'm going to attempt to talk to somebody at Tesla, one of the showrooms in Atlanta or something, and see if they can perhaps make that change for me, because I am worried. I think it'll probably be somewhere around 3 years to get it, because we're at least 500,000 deep in terms of the waiting list. But if we order the single motor version or stick with the single motor version, I have a feeling that it'll be forever before we get one. So anyway, the only sticking point at this point is the fact that I don't want to pay an extra $3,000 for full self-driving when I've already got it locked in for $7,000. So hopefully somebody will fix that for us. So anyway, if you know anything about it and you work for Tesla, please let me know, because that is kind of jerky to not let us change the motor configuration, especially when the odds are very, very high that we won't be able to get the single motor version. It's just not going to be released. By the way, traffic going the other direction is awful. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is the exit, isn't it?
Is it? Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is the exit. Yeah, I was like,
so back to your point 2, which is us getting a 3.
Yes.
I wasn't 100% that you were on that bandwagon yet. I mean, you've mentioned it a few times.
Well, okay, we're buying a house, so it's not going to happen anytime in the next few months. But it is something. So,
like, you're really into it. And is the 3 going to be my car, or is this going to be my car? And are we going to get full self-driving mode in that car?
All of these things are interesting questions. Yeah, the full self-driving is really a tough one.
Do you know how much it is per month?
I don't know. The subscription hasn't come out yet. My guess would be about $200 a month. We'll see. But it is one of those things where I would be doing more commuting. And so if we got if we get the stripped down Model 3, like the standard range plus.
Oh, that's what I'd end up with.
Well, I mean, it's only stripped down because of mileage. But anyway, it's got a single motor as opposed to dual motor. But the big thing is it'd be our city car. So it'd be.
So what about all this beta business you've been talking about?
Well,
what is going on with that?
I'm very frustrated about that. I really, really, really want
Certainly haven't mentioned it lately.
I know. It's been very frustrating. I'm trying to be patient. You know, it's Elon time. He keeps saying 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks. He's always talking about how it's going to be 2 more weeks until such and such thing comes out. So I don't know. Maybe by the fall we'll have full self-driving. But I'm really hoping it happens because the new house we're moving to is great. Love the location and everything, except the commute to my office from home is dreadful. I know, it's terrible. Well, I don't like commuting,
He'll have to spend more time in his Tesla.
No, but the deal is, if the full self-driving 9 is out and it's really able to do city street navigation without my intervention, even if I officially have to keep my hand on the wheel, my life is going to be way better. Those commutes are going to be really nice. They're not going to be so awful as they are now. So, well, as they will be. But anyway, so we'll see. But I'm really, really hoping the Tesla's got to get this thing out one of these days soon, because otherwise I'm going to have to actually drive myself through town, because it's not even a highway commute, it's a city commute. So it's just like really gross traffic through the city. So, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, that's going to suck for you.
It is, and she works from home now, so, you know, tell me about it.
I'll also be sitting there with the stripped down model, you know, clunky Tesla 3.
Poor you with the... It's got all the same stuff as this. The only thing you're giving up is one motor. That's all you're giving up.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Oh, yeah, but suddenly she's going to be like, wait, this has no get up and go. It's like 5.5 seconds, 0 to 60. What the hell?
Oh, wait, is it slower?
Yeah, it's slower
than this one?
Yeah.
So can we pay the $2,000 to have faster on that one?
I don't think you can increase that one. This is a dual motor version. That one's only a single motor, so.
Well, can you buy a dual motor?
Of course you can. But then it's like almost as much as a Model Y. I mean, it just depends on how much money you want. We could buy the Model S Plaid right now for 130. I think
is that how much they are?
Yeah, it's 130. The regular Model S is actually not too bad. It's 80,000. Oh, the other
how much is the X?
90 something.
So the Plaid is more than the X.
Oh yeah, it's like super duper. I don't know if there's going to be a Model X Plaid or not. But that does bring up I'm sorry, I meant to mention this earlier when we were talking about buying the Model 3. The main reason is because of the tax credit. Because essentially, it looks like, hopefully it'll go through Congress, but it looks like we could get $10,000 off the price of the car. So that either
means... At the time of purchase.
That's not clear. So okay. It's not clear whether that's a tax credit or whether some of it is point of purchase and some of it is tax credit. But anyway, we wouldn't get all of it off at once. But anyway, either that pays for full self-driving, because that's 10 grand, or it would allow us, if we just got the model, right, if it was $40,000, that drops it down to $30,000. And that makes it the same price as a Mazda CX-5. So, it's, you know, I know it's not as big of a car because it's a sedan versus
well, we have definitely determined it doesn't get up and go as much as the Tesla.
So anyway, so that's the rationale. Sorry, I meant to mention the whole thing about the tax credit earlier. That was the main reason why I was like, wait a second. That will be around for years, however, so it's hopefully, because it's supposed to be until they get to 50% electric fleet.
Had they not given a tax credit and then taken it away before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, what happened was Tesla, I think it was 200,000. It was either 200,000 or 250. But when you hit 200,000 cars sold, you couldn't get a tax credit anymore for a company. But now the new law is, if it goes through, it's going to be $10,000 in tax credit or some combination of point of sale and tax credit, plus $2,500 if it's union built, which was a Michigan lawmaker's insert. And so since Teslas are not union built, they won't get that extra thing. So
are they ever going to be union built?
I doubt it. I mean, look at where Elon Musk is putting up factories. Now, I guess Germany probably has a lot of union stuff, but you know, he put the second one up in Texas, which is non-union. And I keep pitching Athens. I'm like, Athens is a good place for the third factory. It's not a union state. Georgia is not union, but anyway. So we'll see what happens. But I think he's pretty anti-union. I personally think that unions have a real place because they've negotiated some very good things for their workers, but they also have their problems, so whatever. Not going to get into all of that stuff. But anyway, $10,000 of what it looks like Teslas could be worth over time in tax credit, of course. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this, definitely like and subscribe so other people can find it. What are you upset about? She doesn't like it when I do multiple takes because apparently I have to be perfect every time, so no cuts. Anyway, thank you to my patrons on Patreon. She appreciates it too. We're going to get you a much nicer studio very, very soon. We haven't managed the move yet, but early July. Also, we're going to be going on vacation, so we're going to do some videos from some beautiful West Coast locations. So
but we won't
stay
have the
tuned
Tesla.
for that. Well, we won't have the Tesla, but we'll be able to like show it on the camera. So we'll talk about something and we'll show really, really pretty stuff of San Francisco and Yosemite Valley and stuff. So anyway, stay tuned for that too. Anyway, in the meantime, definitely feel free to ask questions in the comments or at my email address, which is DrKnowItAllKnows@gmail.com. Say it, say it.
DrKnowItAllKnows@gmail.com.
Until next time, bye-bye.